Hi, my name is Dr. Vesna Markovic. I am the chair of the Justice, Law, and Public Safety Studies Department at Lewis University, and I have with me Miss Michelle Miga, and she can introduce herself as well. Go ahead, Michelle.
Hi, my name is Michelle Miga. I am the Director of Recruitment and External Relations Program Coordinator for the Department of Justice, Law, and Public Safety Studies. I advise the students in our 3+1 partnership programs.
So today we wanted to just, your professor invited us to talk a little bit about this new program that we have, 3+1 partnership between Lewis University and Triton. So I just want to talk a little bit about and give you a little bit of a background on the department. So the department, we have over a 40-year history of offering criminal justice degrees. We are the second largest program in Illinois, but we are ranked #1 amongst private institutions. So our criminal justice majors have a focus on a lot of what's going on today in the news that you see about, social justice issues, practices. So it's not just policing, but we look at courts, we look at corrections, we look at the whole system altogether. Most of the faculty have real-world experience, so we have faculty who are former commanders of police. We have a police sergeant, retired, but was a police sergeant with Chicago Police. People have done other stuff. I do a lot of stuff related to terrorism, and that's my area of research, but I also lecture to NATO, to the military, regarding issues focused on suicide bombings, financing terrorism, low-tech attacks such as vehicle rammings and mass shootings. So a lot of the faculty have a background in and have worked in. We also have adjuncts as part of the program, and one of our adjuncts is the chief of police of a suburban department. We have other adjuncts who work in the courts and are attorneys, whether they're defense or prosecution. So we have a lot of real-world experience in terms of our faculty. We have undergraduate majors, but the one that we're specifically going to focus on is the criminal justice major, because that's the one we have entered the partnership with Triton. So I'll talk about the major, I'll talk about our faculty a little bit more, and I'll talk about some of the experiential education opportunities that you would have as students, at Lewis University. So we have the criminal justice degree, which is a bachelor's in arts. And just to kind of talk about it a little bit more, the Bachelor's of Arts in Criminal Justice is a really good way to kind of get a full background on the whole system. Again, a lot of students want to go into careers in law enforcement, but we have students who have gone into probation, parole, corrections, into courts. Some students want to go further, get a master's degree. Some students want to go to law school and get a law degree. So we have a very broad and comprehensive program at the university. So we focus on various aspects of the criminal justice system, like the correctional system. You have a lot of classes that deal with the legal issues. So what are the legal issues that are tied to criminal justice, for example, policing? And so we have a very wide background of classes that can help you to develop, these skills that you can use if you want to go on further in criminal justice and make that a career. So a lot of the job opportunities could include, obviously, law enforcement, whether it be local law enforcement, like a city or municipality police, state police. We have a very good partnership with the Illinois State Police and have a lot of interns. Obviously, during Corona, a lot of that was canceled, but we have a very good partnership with Illinois State Police. We have a career day that we bring in people from all these different career fields. So not just public service like police, probation, corrections, courts, and all that stuff, but we also have people coming in from the industry. So Target comes, we have, you know, people working in, you know, security or analyzing whether it's intel for a corporation or something like that. So there are a lot of jobs that are available. Obviously, you can't get a bachelor's degree and go into the FBI or into the CIA. You'd have to have more experience, whether that be working for law enforcement or something like that. If you have foreign language capabilities, I would highly recommend that you pursue that as well, because those are the things that set you apart when you're going towards jobs like the FBI. And of course, as you watch on the news, there are a lot of issues with law enforcement. We see it all the time. There are a lot of, you know, issues, protests, you know, are these shootings legitimate? Are they not legitimate? You know, so there are a lot of issues when it comes to the criminal justice system today, and it's very complex, and there are a lot of things going on with community and race relations, terrorism, particularly now with the increase of domestic terrorism. So there are a lot of things that you can, you know, you can learn in a holistic kind of way. As I mentioned, our faculty is very diverse. We have faculty that are doing research in many different areas. We have new faculty like Dr. Hannah Klein, who's done research on youths and gangs, Dr. Natalia Tapia, who's done research on child abuse, elder abuse, Dr. Morris Jenkins, who works in various, you know, works with various police departments looking at community police relations, Professor Thurman and Professor Zia, who also have a law degree, who are the ones that are focused on the legal aspects and teaching those legal classes. Dr. Sherwin worked with Chicago Police, Dr. Tovar, who worked with, she was a commander, one of the first female commanders in a suburban department. And then, of course, on top of this, we have a lot of adjunct faculty, as I mentioned, that are in all different fields. The good thing about that is it provides a lot of opportunities for students that include internships, because a lot of the faculty have connections with different, you know, agencies, and are able to connect you with people in these different fields to talk about your, you know, ideas for jobs, where you want to go when you're done. We also have the National Criminal Justice Honor Society, which is the Alpha Phi Sigma National Honor Society. Our chapter name is Pi Epsilon Theta. So we have that available to students, and through that organization, we have events that the students can participate in. And so one of them that Pi Epsilon Theta co-sponsored with our department is, we had Miss Rosie Orozco, who is a Mexican human rights activist who deals with human trafficking, came in and gave an Arts and Ideas event that she spoke about what survivors of human trafficking go through. She's helped hundreds of survivors of human trafficking, and to hear some of their stories of being, you know, in trafficking for, you know, few years to 6 to 7 years, and how they survive that experience. We also have travel studies available to students. So obviously with Corona, some of that got cut off, but we have, for example, a trip going in May of 2022 to London. So it's a study abroad trip that's 2 weeks, and you go visit Scotland Yard, visit some other forensic museums, and just kind of get an idea of how different countries deal with law enforcement. So if you go to London, you know that a lot of the officers don't even carry guns, because it's a lot different than it is here. So you kind of learn about all these different things from a comparative sense, what happens in the US and what happens in other countries in terms of their law enforcement, their court systems, etc. We also have research opportunities for students to join. I am working on a project right now with a group of students that is for a competition called Invent to Prevent. And the students are coming up with a way to prevent targeted violence. So they came up with a project called How to Inform, which they are using the acronym INFORM to help kids, particularly middle school kids, to figure out what information they're reading, whether it's memes, whether it's, internet articles, which ones are basically presenting correct information and which ones are presenting malinformation, misinformation, or disinformation. We also have workshops, which are 1-hour classes that give students an opportunity to take a class that's usually a Friday evening, Saturday morning, and it's a 1-credit class, and it's on a specialized topic, so youth violence. And in that one, you would go visit the, obviously during Corona, it's all different, but hopefully when things kind of get back relatively to normal, they will be doing these classes again. And you go and visit the youth prison in Joliet, for example. There are other ones that are fire arson workshop. There's another one on, I think it's like sexual predators. There are a whole bunch of different workshops that are very focused on a specialized area. Also, I wanted to draw your attention, we have a Facebook page, which you can just join or follow even if you are not a student of Lewis. So it's www.facebook.com/LewisUJLPSS. And on there, we post a lot of events that we're holding and hosting. We post we have a lot of alums like your professor who is an alum of Lewis who are now in different careers, and they send us information about internships for students. They send us information about potential jobs. And so it's a really good resource to use so that we can share with students what's happening out in careers in criminal justice. So this could include presentations by the FBI for, the collegiate hiring initiative. It could include, internships that are available through various police departments. It could include job, opportunities. So, if they have police dispatchers or they're hiring police, they send it to us and we post it on our Facebook page. Internships, students have interned so many different areas, including local law enforcement, federal law enforcement, different courthouses, county police, and just all over the state. They've done some pretty interesting internships. And of course, careers. You guys are kind of in the criminal justice field, so you know that there's a wide variety of areas that students can get into in terms of careers in law enforcement. So I'm going to turn it over now to Miss Michelle Miga so she can talk to you about the actual coursework that's required and how that works.
Okay, so when we designed the curriculum for the 3+1 program for Triton, what we did is we took the first 4 semesters and designed them as an Associate of Arts degree semester with 5 criminal justice courses that are required in our core program. So I know that this looks like a lot of credit hours per semester, so I do want to give the disclaimer that you do not need to lay out your curriculum in this exact way. This is just to show students how a 3+1 program can be done. So if you wanted to do 4 semesters with Triton College and then 4 semesters with a combo of Triton coursework and Lewis coursework, you can get the program done in total in 8 semesters. So an associate's degree consists of 3 communications courses, 3 fine arts humanities, 3 social sciences, a math, 2 sciences, 1 in a physical science, 1 in a life science, and 1 of those has to be a lab course. And then, of course, these 5 courses that I'm referring to for criminal justice, along with some elective credit. So you'll see here the communications courses for the freshman rhetoric and composition 1 are addressed the first semester, the second semester, and the third semester of this curriculum while you're with Triton. Same thing with the fine arts humanities. You're taking fine arts humanities your second semester, your third semester, and your fourth semester. In the social science category, you're taking social science your first semester. In your second semester, you're being given the choice of whether or not to take psychology or intro to sociology. And then again, you'll see social science included in the fourth semester. Math is placed into the third semester. And then your 2 science courses are shown in the first and third semester. And again, it doesn't matter whether you take physical science in the first semester and a life science in the third semester, and then which one you choose to do a lab course with. We don't care. We just want you to make sure that you're meeting those markers for the associate's degree. In terms of the core criminal justice courses, we do want you to have the Intro to Criminal Justice and Intro to Corrections course completed. We would like to see students take that course in their first semester. Juvenile Delinquency and the Law, we planned to run for second semester. And then Criminology and Law Enforcement Administration would be in the fourth semester. You might have also seen in that fourth semester, we have ethics in there. The reason we included ethics, even though that is a fine arts humanities course, we're not counting it as a fine arts humanities. We are using it as one of our mission-related courses. Since Lewis is a Catholic institution, there are 3 mission courses that are required for every student upon graduation. So by you taking the ethics course, that will fulfill one of those requirements, and then you'll only have 2 mission courses to complete. So in total, when you add up these hours, depending on how many credit hours your science courses are, you're looking at about 69 to 71 credits completed with Triton. I know at the top there it says 92, and I'll get to what that 92 figure is in the next 4 semesters. But just to start, Lewis, these are the courses that we want you to have completed. And again, it would be in that range of 69 to 71 credits. Now, if you're really close to that, let's say you have 65 credits and you've met all of those markers for an associate's degree, your communications, your math, your science, your social science, fine arts, humanities. Let's just say you're missing an elective or 2, or maybe 1 criminal justice course. We're not going to stop a student from starting the Lewis portion of this 3+1 program over 1 or 2 classes. As long as you have all of the other coursework completed, I can work with you on that. And then can we get to the next slide? Is that possible?
I hope so.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Okay, so the Lewis portion of the 3+1 program is 36 credit hours, but you'll see in the first 2 semesters, you're still taking Triton elective credit. And again, this is to get you to those 3 full years of Triton coursework. So the reason why, because a lot of people ask me this, why don't I just do a full 3 years at Triton, do the 92 credit hours, and then just start with Lewis? The reason why we don't do that is for financial aid reasons. Once a community college student receives their associate's degree, the community college can no longer award financial aid past those credit hours. So in order for your additional 3rd year Triton coursework to be covered with financial aid, you have to transfer to the 4-year institution and have Lewis cover the additional credit. So that's why in the very first 2 semesters, you're blending Lewis coursework. And by the way, the Lewis coursework that first semester is Courts and Probation and Search for Faith, and then your 3 elective courses. So you will do that your very first 2 semesters with Lewis, taking coursework at both Lewis and COD, or I'm sorry, at Lewis and Triton College. The final 2 semesters in this program then would be all Lewis credits. So you would have 12 credit hours in your 3rd semester and then another 12 credit hours in your 4th semester. So it almost looks, if you look at everything, it looks like you're heavier in credit hours the first 4 semesters with Triton, and then the second 4 semesters when you're combining Triton and Lewis, it seems like your hours per semester are a little bit lighter. We have a disclaimer at the bottom of that sheet there that says, absolutely, you can lighten your loads during the summer. I meet with so many students now who decide to take summer coursework. So this is just an example of how this can work. You do not have to follow it to a T. Obviously, all of the coursework eventually has to be completed, but they don't necessarily have to be completed in this exact manner. If you do want to take coursework over the summer, so that your first 4 semesters at Triton are not at 18 and 19 credit hours, we completely understand that. Okay, next slide. This should be the slide about the tuition and financial aid. Do you see this?
Yes.
Okay. So the advantages are many in doing the 3+1 program. Obviously, you get to stay at Triton and take 3 full years worth of credit at their reduced tuition rate. That's going to apply to your bachelor's degree. So a bachelor's degree is 128 credit hours. 92 of those hours are going to be coming from Triton. The rest of the credit hours that you're going to take with Lewis amounts to 36 credit hours, and we are offering a 35% Lewis University tuition discount towards that. When you do the calculations on that, the total tuition for 4 years from the time that you start Triton to the time that you end with Lewis is less than 1 full-time year at Lewis. So this is a really deep discount. Financial aid will be awarded for both schools by the financial aid office once the AA degree is conferred. So the first 4 semesters you're working with the financial aid office at Triton, and then the second 4 semesters you're going to work strictly with Lewis, and Lewis will be able to process aid for both your Triton tuition and your Lewis tuition. And then next slide here, admission and advising. Do you see this slide?
Yes.
Okay, good, thank you. So for more information and to schedule an evaluation of your credit, I'm the person that you're going to want to contact, Michelle Miga. My email address is right there, and I can schedule a phone or a virtual appointment. Basically, what I'm going to need from you are your unofficial Triton transcripts, so that I can take a look at what you've taken and let you know what's going to transfer to the university and what coursework you may have left to complete in order to start the program. And then if you think you're at the point now where you're close to that 67, 69 credit hour figure for the fall semester, by all means, this is the time to start applying. So the link right here is the application that you would visit. It's a downloadable application. You're going to put in all of your information about your name, address, contact information, what school you're transferring from. And as soon as you send that application in, we will ask for you to contact the Triton Records Department and have your official transcript sent to the admissions office at Lewis. I'm not your admissions counselor. There will be a different admissions counselor working with you, but that person will accept all of your documents, do the official evaluation of your credit, let you know what you have left to take, and then they will advise you to contact me for a registration appointment. And that's all I have. I think we can open it up for questions now.
Yeah, so this is our Facebook page. This is Michelle's email address. I'm the chair of the department. I also put my email address here as well. So if somebody wants to contact either of us about the actual program, about what to expect, what the classes are, you know, that's fine. You can ask us any questions, and then I think we're going to stop the recording now, and then we will get to the question and answer portion if anybody has questions.